Hey guys, thanks for checking out this second episode in my web kind of journal, video journal of what I'm doing with the process of planting a church in the Greensburg area. If you saw the first episode that I did a week or two ago, then you might have noticed the title and you may have been like, what does that even mean? Because I titled the series and I titled that episode The Potter's Process. And that name for the series comes from what I've decided the name of the church is going to be, which I already knew at the time and just figured it could be another episode, something I could talk about. But I did figure it was a good idea to do that pretty early on in this series, and so I'm going to do it now. The name Potter's Process comes from the fact that the name of the church is going to be the Potter's Church. So that's what we're going to be calling our congregation. And the way that name came about was the fact that in the Bible, pottery is mentioned a lot of different times. And in fact, I'm even thinking, I don't know that I'm going to do this, but I am thinking that maybe the first series for the church, when we get to doing sermons, will be on pottery in the Bible and just what we can learn from the references there and apply it to the life of the church. But the one verse in particular that was really on my mind coming up with this was 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. That's the verse that talks about that we have this treasure in jars of clay. And the point there is that Christianity is not supposed to be about impressing people with our individual merits. And so it's not about being polished and having a high level of intellect or educational accomplishment or money, or it's not about all those keeping up with the Joneses things. Christianity is supposed to be about recognizing the fact that we are broken and we are misshapen in our lives and there are things that are wrong with us, but what really matters is what's inside, the salvation that we have in Christ, and then the work of evangelizing, of showing that treasure that we have to the world. And so it's what's within, not what's without, that matters. And I do think that it's pretty applicable to planting a church, because that's definitely a rough around the edges process. But again, it's true of all Christians that this is what we're supposed to acknowledge and it's what we're supposed to be. And so putting that right in the name was just something that I felt was good to emphasize. And I do like the way it rolls, the Potter's Church. I think that has a good sound to it too. And so I'm just hoping that people will see that and they will hear that, and it will just make them curious and hopefully want to come in and see what we're doing and become part of that congregation. And so hopefully that explanation makes sense of maybe what you saw last time, and makes sense with what we're going to be trying to do. And so if you have any curiosity about that, maybe some questions or some suggestions that you want to make, you can put those in the comments, or if you want to reach me directly and privately, my email address is in the description, so you can get to me that way as well. So thanks for checking this out. Thanks for praying. I hope that you will keep that up. Even if it's just right now, pause the video, just say a prayer that God guides this process with the people and the resources that we need, and that we can be effective out here in Greensburg and Westmoreland County in showing people the treasure that we have. And so again, thanks very much. And until next time, keep looking up.